annoying car, what an annoying circuit experience. Hey guys, welcome to another episode in the playthrough of Gran Turismo 7. We are doing the menu book still, but there are some new circuits, so to mix it up I'm also doing some circuit experiences in between, like this recently unlocked circuit to Barcelona, which honestly, especially with that layout with the chicane in it at the end, it is the worst designed track I ever driven on in any game. It is such an annoying track. You're constantly fighting understeer. They're either super slow corners or it are super long sweeping corners which seem endless. There are hardly any visual references like brake markers. It is the whole setting. It looks like a really artificial, industrialized circuit purely made for to facilitate as many grandstands as possible. So purely with commerce in mind. There is no charm. It doesn't have like all the other circuits, also real life ones. They have certain charms, they have characteristics that make them unique. Like Eau Rouge in Spa-Francorchamps, or in Monza you have that chicane and those fast right-handers, but there are also long sweeping corners, but at least they're exhilarating. You have the corkscrew in fuck my life, it's on the tip of my tongue. In God damn it, I forgot the name of the US track, the most famous US track. Fucking hell. How can this be? I even mentioned it in the previous episode, I'm pretty sure. It is Laguna Seca. You have the Nürburgring, you have like Epic, the Foxhole, etc. This track, it's really similar, I mentioned it in the previous episode as well, to the Nürburgring Grand Prix layout. It's also super boring, super wide runoff sections. It's just an industrialized, artificially made, purely for commerce, to seat as many people as possible, bullshit track layouts. The people who design these kinds of tracks, I have no clue how they got that assignment. It is terrible. So, and I was really giving this track a chance. Like, okay, maybe it will grow on me. Maybe it is more fun in other types of cars, but I don't think so. Even the whole setting, look at this. It is the artificiality drips from it. This is the only thing closest they have to a landmark, what you see on screen now. It's just a metal pole with some loudspeakers. For the rest, it is just absolutely terrible track layout. You're constantly, there is no sense of acceleration. There is no moment of respite like on Fuji. You have that long straight where you and then you start battling it out again through the corners, but you have that straight like, okay, a moment to reset. The same as on Le Mans. You have that straight, but you also have very exhilarating, the S section in Le Mans, for example, or the S section in Suzuka. All those tracks have their unique exhilarating moments. This track literally has none. It looks cool on paper, but it is constantly fighting understeer. Here, this chicane section, it is braking, 1 second on the gas, full brake, 1 second on the gas, full brake. It is you're constantly fighting the track, so to say. There's no flow whatsoever. So, but yeah, that was me bickering on this track. It's really that terrible. But yeah, let's quickly run through the replay. I will give my tips on how I did it. I have no idea why this last one was quicker than before, but apparently I made the time. And also to think that the pilot lap is, the time was 1:46, the demonstration lap is 1:43.7, and I'm sure that the real good real life gamers can even take off a couple of seconds of that. But how people do that, I have no clue. And For other tracks, like the Nürburgring, I did the same. I wanted to beat not only the gold time in the circuit experience, but the actual demonstration time, which was 6:28, which really was a fast time. And I had no problem with driving like after work for 2 weeks straight to get that time, because it was fun. This track I have zero, even if people would pay me, I would not try to get a better time for it. That's how much I dislike this track. Absolutely abomination. Right, so this is all full throttle. Obviously. And then to the left you see that black little light unit. Just before that light unit, fully brake and back to third. And then let the car roll over this corner, a little bit of throttle in between this right-hander and the left-hander, and then let it roll. But here you can quite quickly get on the gas. Just make sure to not have full steering input. Loosen up your steering, because you can make use of the width of the track. So you can really, in third, you can really already now full throttle. Over here start to semi-throttle, and this is also what I mean. There are hardly any visual references on when you should come when you could go back on the throttle. Maybe those two F signs to the right, but yeah, it also depends a bit how quick you are entering this corner when you can get back fully on the throttle. But basically this is a little bit half throttle, and then from here slowly start opening it up and really try to trust the downforce of the car. So it really feels unnatural. Here you can actually already do full throttle, and then from 3 to 4 to 5. It feels unnatural doing that in a corner, but yeah, this car has a lot of downforce apparently. So full throttle, let it go wide a bit if needed. And here you go. And then over here, just before the shadow, like where we are now, approximately from fifth, hard brake back to second. And then over here, let it roll, let it roll. This is basically the same corner as the previous long right-hander, only in miniature version thereof. Let it roll, and then you see also here you have those little F signs to the right. I don't know what they mean. Is that for a fire extinguisher, or is that to indicate the corner apex? I have no clue. Wait, let's make that a learning moment. 1 second. We do F sign track side. Track side signs. Oh my god, I'm not even gonna open those websites with all the cookie notifications. Fuck that shit. Cookies should be totally banned. They're so annoying. Aluminum F-track. You know what? Fuck this shit. This will take hours. It's all so annoying. Sorry, I'm still annoyed by this whole track. How much time it cost. It's just extremely annoying, everything. Sorry. Anywho. So you have a little F to the right. I have no idea what it means. And then over here, start opening up gradually. And also you can, earlier than you would think, go full throttle. Maybe the car, there is a tendency that it starts to slide, then hold off a little bit, or short shift up to thirds. But you really want to get on the power here. Make use of the width of the track, maybe even these curbs to the left. And then over here again, no visual clue whatsoever. Not right, not left, nada. So you just have to do this by feel, a little bit in between a little bit before the halfway point of this little straight section. Hard brake back to seconds. And then here, let it roll through the corner, and then gradually from here on start applying the throttle and get on the curb here, because again, maybe it's placebo, but in my experience, curbs provide extra grip. There is less chance that you will, even if you're still cornering a bit and you apply full throttle, normally on normal tarmac you can then spin the rear out. But if you are on these rumble strips, it happens way less in my view. So get on the rumble, full throttle. And then over here again, zero visual reference to the right or to the left, no brake markers, nothing. It is so retarded, my head is literally exploding. But here you see this little patch of grass. Yeah, a little bit like 1 meter or so after the rumble strip to the right ends and the patch of grass begins. That is where you start to brake hard, and I think go to, yeah, I keep it in third actually. Here, roll through the corner, and very important, don't follow the corner around, because there's like this little dip in the road, in the track that goes a little bit upwards. Don't go on the throttle here with left steering applied. You will immediately spin out. This is absolutely guaranteed spin out. What you do is you straighten up the wheel from here, and you see that little sausage curb over there to the right. You really just straight on from here, drive over that curbing. That's the only way to get out of here quickly. Don't follow the road, because you will spin out. So straight on, and now full throttle. And apparently, normally in circuit experiences, it's all very pretty strict on whether you can. You have to stay within the boundaries of the. Here, there's by the way also an F sign to the right there. I'm really curious what it means. Is it also to the left an F? Or if it's only at the inside of the corners, then it could mean that it is has to do with the apex or something. But no, this is not the apex or the middle of the corner. But if it's also on the outside, then I don't think there's anything to do with the corner. Then it could be fire extinguisher. But anywho, this is the fastest way out of here. Normally it's really strict, you have to stay within the boundaries. Apparently here it is quite loose. You can really abuse this green patch. Right over here you see that little orange. Yeah, it's also to the left over there. I think it's fire extinguisher, those Fs. But because this is not even a corner, there's an F sign there as well. Over here, the little orange patch, that's where you briefly tap the brake and let it roll. Keep steering input. This is a blind corner. You really don't see the exit from here. Keep your steering input, slowly but surely start to opening it up. And here again, you can quite far get on the curbs. And then over here you have the 150 sign to the right, but you also have between 150 and 100, you have that little pole behind the fencing. A little bit before that pole, you start to brake hard back to first gear. So that's from approximately here you start to brake. Okay, really sharp turn. Really try to spend the least amount of turning here as possible. So really try to rotate the car as quickly as possible. And then in 1 and 2 and 3, full throttle out of here. You can really also abuse this curb a bit. And then over here on the brakes back to seconds. Let it roll, let it roll, let it roll. You see that little cigar to the right here, a little bit at the corner apex. I think that is the corner apex. Once you pass it, you can open up the throttle. Keep it's again this is the third of these incredibly long corners where you're constantly waiting, can I apply the throttle? It is the worst track design ever. And you see all the people, all the grandstands. This is purely made to, in my ID, to have as much corners in a certain section that everybody can see more corners at once who are in the grandstands. But so it's totally made for commerce and maybe for the spectators, but driving around here with all these little fucked up corners in a very small squared area, so to say, makes for a terrible driving experience in my view. So you're here waiting, opening up the throttle, and then over here full throttle, and again very quickly, and again we have a super slow, super annoying section coming up. Back to seconds, and again a blind corner, no visual references, right or left, nothing. Hold the throttle, and then once the curb ends, immediately. So you're basically constantly either in corners, or you're just after a corner. You can open the throttle for 1 second, but then you have to brake again. You're again in a corner. It is constant fighting, this circuit. Here you brake, and then try to avoid that high the sausage on the inside curb, because it really will fling your car into the air. One, and then immediately slow another one to the right, and yeah, basically you're lifting through here, or with a little amount of throttle applied, and then here get on the power obviously as soon as possible, because after this again long right-hander. There are a lot of way too long right-handers in this track. You enter the straight, so you really want to carry as much speed up onto the start of the straight as possible. So you really want to get on the power here early as possible. It is not only full throttle here, because I do think you will otherwise go wide, so there's a little bit of lifting involved here, depending on how fast you are approaching this section to begin with. And there we go. It is absolutely an atrocious circuit. I really don't have that with a lot of circuits, except this one. Maybe it's the car-track combination. Maybe in slower cars it's much more fun, but in this car, that also the car felt totally floating a bit, disconnected. Also with the braking points, you either had it right, or if you brake too early, because the brakes are so on-off, it's really an on-off switch. You are standing still before where you want to stand still, or if you're braking too late, you will just overshoot it. It's absolutely. I had way more fun in the Shelby regular road car in the previous races than this GT3 car. Absolutely boring car to drive. Although the sound from the outside, it's amazing, but yeah, doesn't really help you when you're driving it. Yeah, from the outside the track looks pretty interesting, but trust me, driving it, or maybe it's just my opinion, it's maybe subjective, but for me, driving it is a nightmare. Or maybe it will grow on me. Like at the start, without any brake, why wouldn't you put brake marks here? There are some brake markers all the way to the left, but that's also what makes it so boring for me. These huge runoff areas to the left. That's probably for safety, for Formula 1, etc. But it makes for such a boring environment. Like I can see those brake markers like 50 meters to the left. No, put them besides the track. Why don't you put them on the right side, where you see the white wall? Then they are useful, not all the way into the forest to the left. But yeah, maybe because it is such an annoying track, it can also become interesting actually. That once you really know the track well, that maybe it can become some level of fun. But honestly, my first impression is absolutely terrible. Even aware that there was a little cigar there as well, or sausage. Like, I think I saw one here. Now I don't see it anymore. Corner before. And I don't even recognize that. It's such an annoying track that it's even hard to recognize the corners from the outside, because they're all not similar corners, but it's just such a generic blend environment. There really are too little reference points. There you have a little sausage. I think I also saw, there it is. That little sausage over there, I was not aware of that one. That one over there. Crowds are done incredibly well, by the way. Alright, I am really happy that that is behind us. It is already really late, it's past midnight, so I was thinking, shall I still do a race of the menu book? But I will not do that, let's do that tomorrow. Only thing that those circuit experience are good for, but besides they're fun if it's a fun track, but it's also the payouts, they are really pretty good. It's $1 million per gold. We will be doing the Schwarzwald League, and let's see which order we are going to tackle them. We're going to tackle them in the order of the menu book. So that will be first the AMG C. So this is Saint Croix we're gonna do. Then the second one is on the Nürburgring. You cannot see it here, but I looked it up. And then the last one is Barcelona, I think, yes. So Saint Croix is the next one. We have a new guy telling us something about the car design. Let's listen. The Carrera GT is truly timeless. I believe it's a masterpiece of modern Porsche design. Me too. Especially the engine. It's hard to believe that it's been around for so long. Stylistically, the Carrera GT was ahead of its time. and would serve as a DNA for future Porsche creations. Like the Boxster Cayman, and I would even add the 918. Not even, for sure the 918. It has a lot of innovative details, such as the double hump mesh rear screen with the stylized aero roll bars hovering above. Mesh rear screen? What? That? No, there's a mesh over the engine, but that's not the rear screen. The rear screen is just transparent. It's not a mesh at all, unless I'm mistaken. Can we see the background? The backside? Here, mesh rear screen. No. At least screen I see is window. There's a mesh rear. Yeah, okay, maybe screen is just a panel that they don't necessarily mean like the windscreen, like the rear window, but no, they do mean the window because it says with the stylized aero roll bars above it. Yeah, to me, the rear windows are just glass or whatever it is, material, transparent. It's not a mesh. The mesh is the boot. I also love the rear diffuser with its integrated exhaust. Yeah, true. That's pretty cool. Also inspiring is the interior with the central console bridge. That's also true. However, if I were to make one criticism, it would have to be about its excessive length. I don't find it that long, to be honest. This is accentuated by the horizontal lines that connect the front fender outlet and rear fender inlet. Still, there are many clever details. Alright, his criticism about length, I find it ridiculous. For example, the central lock wheels and aerodynamic mirrors. Thank you for that insightful piece of history. Sarah, please, can you not constantly pop up with useful additions? Don't mention it. Now go and take another good look at your beloved car. Alright, we were going to Saint Croix, and just for fun, as the last little mini activity, let's see how our Carrera GT drives on Saint Croix. Where the hell is it? Here it is. Alright, what layout are we driving? B. Also, so weird that the circuit experience is only one layout. It was C, which I do think is the longest one. 10 kilometers. I wasn't aware it was that long. I assume the rest are subsets of that longer one, but they look quite different. Yeah, you do see it's the bottom half of the longer one. But then layout A, I really don't see layout A in layout C. The layout A is maybe totally standalone. I do see the top few corners, those right corners, and then that half moon thingy where now the red ball is going by in layout A to the left. That is the same as the top right of layout C. But for the rest, it's a totally different section. Alright, whatever. We are driving B. Let's just do a little test run. Alright, I'm not sure whether this car, I really like to drive with all assists off. Whether that's a good idea. In the Carrera GT, but we will just have to see. Feels very floaty, or not floaty, but it feels like the car is moving up and down. The suspension is way softer than that GT3 car I was driving, which is of course logical, but this is much more fun, I can tell you. I do find the inside sounds not really that great. But what I do find very cool is that stick shift and the sound it makes. Click. Alright, I'm driving really bad, I'm totally not focused. The car is actually bench pretty decent. This is supposed to be a Widowmaker. But the rear, it's not like it's constant oversteering. Now I remember these layouts. It's maybe also why it's behaving so well, is because I have soft tires. It's really planted. We already did a race on this track, on this layout. Slowly but surely it's coming back. Although this corner I really don't remember. This one neither. Constantly afraid that the rear will step out, but it's really not. Right, braking before the 150. see, this is a fun track compared to Barcelona. Right, let's do that beginning section one more time, just to get a bit of a feel for it. Alright, I would never have thought it, but it's pretty easy to drive this car. Really weird how close my times are actually. I really was not focused at all. I was just pretty absent-minded driving the car around. That's why it's so weird that the times are so similar between laps. Alright, let's listen to the sound. Did they capture that Carrera GT sounds? They didn't really capture that whining, that howling that the engine actually does in real life. It's almost like a crying, screaming engine. It's amazing in real life. I really hope we will be competitive, that it will not be another 4-hour per race session, so that we can make a little bit of progress. On the other hand, I also really like the challenge, and going through it slowly, I prefer that instead of just finishing the game in 2 days and not having anything to do anymore. So it's at one point I would like to progress a bit, at the other from the other side, it's I should enjoy it while it lasts, so to say. Anywho, because we will be, amongst others, we are now 660 pp. We have it's a 700 pp race, and we will, for example, be up against the GT1 Strassen version. This one. Damn it, sometimes my D-pad stick on the steering wheel, the G Pro Logitech wheel, sometimes it works, other times it doesn't at all. Super annoying. We will be against, for example, this one. No, can I just... No, did I now change into it? Yeah, that's not what we want. That GT1 Strassen version, I do think it's an older car, but it looks This one is 97, yeah, so it's 7 years older. It actually has less horsepower, but it looks way more really track focused, so I'm a little bit afraid that this one really will beat us. It's lighter than the Carrera GT. But yeah, we will just have to see. Are there any other cool cars? There are many cool cars actually. I really like it that they brought more regular cars back into the game. Really looking forward also to the classical car races. Tuning required, gift card, DLC car, sponsored car, current car favorites. What does tuning required mean? Why would tuning be required? No idea. That's one of the legends at the bottom right. One of the legend options, but I don't see it anywhere, tuning required, and I also cannot really understand why that would be an entry. Maybe there's a mission or something that you have to tune a specific car or something. Alright, if possible I'm gonna sell immediately after menu book 39 we get the sell option. I really hope we can also sell gift cards, and I will immediately sell all the Vision GT cars. I find them so unimmersive. Anyways, that about does it for this episode. Guys, hope you enjoyed. Next one we will continue that Schwarzwald League. Finally done with the annoying circuit experience in Barcelona. Hope to see you there, and for the meantime, do not forget, always do keep on gaming. See you later.